and transform. That is the Prime Minister's mantra for not only government, for the rest of India, and which has resulted in a universal change across the length and breadth of India. And therefore, I will continue with the theme that my two predecessors have started with. Now it is time for the aerospace industry players to supplant themselves in India. And there are multiple reasons for that. A sector that had only 74 airports in this country, in the period of the last 9 years, has moved the envelope from 74 to 148 airports, waterdromes and heliports. And let me commit to you that our journey has not ended. In the next 3 to 5 years, we will take that number upwards of 200. That is my guarantee to you. In the airplane sector, as Vikram said, we had 400 planes in 2014. Today we are almost at 700 aircraft. And two companies. Look at the transformation of Air India. A bold decision of disinvestment. And look at the transformation that one single bold decision in this country has brought about for the complete aerospace industry in this country. Not only for passengers, not only for airports, but for MROs, for our aerospace manufacturing sector, for our cargo handling. A single order of 470 aircraft, upwards of $70 billion, the largest aircraft order in the history of aviation in the world, and followed up very shortly by Indigo's 500 plane order. And while Vikram talked about the biggies, there are many others in this space that have mushroomed, that have been given birth in the last 6 to 7 years. Both in the narrow-bodied aircraft category with Akasa. For 20 years, we've been hearing about airlines shutting down in our country. For the first time in 2 decades, we are now hearing about airlines being born in our country. Akasa, 15 months ago, started with 2 aircraft. In 15 months, they are today at 20 aircraft. 10x growth in 15 months. Vikram talked about Udan. So one monumental change that the Prime Minister has brought about in the civil aviation sector. Civil aviation was always considered as an elitist product. Not an elite product, but an elitist product. चप्पल पहनने वाला भी हवाई जहाज में उड़े. With Udan Yojana, the democratization of civil aviation has happened in our country. Today we have 14.5 crore passengers. And I make this point at this B20 conference in Gwalior for international companies to look at within India. And mind you, when we talk about penetration rates, 14.5 crore passengers, most of them are multiple flyers. So when you look at discrete passengers, you're only talking about 14.5 crore passengers means 10% penetration on a population of 140 crores. But when you look at discrete flyers, you're only talking about 3 to 4% penetration in India. Which means what? you have 96% more potential to go. And let me give you a vignette of where we are in terms of civil aviation. The railways, which is my closest competitor, and within the railway segment, I'm only going to talk about first AC and second AC, because my product by its very nature is air conditioned. Close to 5,500 assemblies will be supplied for that aircraft. Indian companies like Bharat Dynamics and a couple of others will be supplying the radar equipment and the deployment equipment for that aircraft. And that itself will bring about a tremendous amount of innovation within India, I believe. In the space of MROs, when I took charge in 2021, we completely redid the MRO policy. There was an earlier policy which charged exorbitant royalties, exorbitant land rates. We did away with all that because we wanted to bring in a new level of energy into the space. And I'm glad to report to you that now we have from 113 almost 140 MROs. Safran has committed $150 million to set up its facility within India as a greenfield MRO facility in one of our metro airports, initially servicing close to 500 engines, going up to 1,000 engines. And therefore, the Prime Minister's vision for India, make in India but make for the world, truly has become a reality for all of us in India today and for the world.
Many other ministries that will be involved in this as we go through customs processes, other changes to enable both manufacturing and MRO. My question for you is, what advice would you have to us as we work with those other ministries as well? Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce, to make sure that we have aligned policies to enable everyone in this room to achieve the growth that they want to achieve.
So that's a very good question, Salil. I think the government, from the Prime Minister, is sensitive to the fact that the growth of civil aviation, the growth of the civil aviation sector in India is an imperative to transform India's capabilities on innovation, on productization, and to be able to live up to the notion of make in India but make for the world.